What is up, winning team? Your girl is enjoying an espresso, a double shot espresso on the swings right now. And yes, I do like to come and sit on the swings sometimes, just to think and just to I don't know. I try to do things to reconnect with my inner child constantly because one of my greatest fears, can I just say, is turning out like adults who take themselves so seriously and yet your lives are filled with such lacking of logical behaviors and thinking that what's the point of taking ourselves so seriously if we're letting the kingdom of darkness run amok? So I don't take myself too seriously. I feel like I'm serious when I need to be, which is why I'm often really serious on YouTube. And I like to enjoy the simple things, because those are the things that we lack as we age, as life and all the things that happen starts to bear down on us and destroy the beauty and the innocence in the small, simple things, So that's what we're doing here. And obviously I'm out here right now because I was supposed to be doing something else. But of course, as is the nature of society, everything always opens really late. And by late, I mean 9, 10 a.m. Why? Because we are a workforce of people who have to work on a schedule based on somebody else. We no longer, there's a lot of things that I just think are so illogical in society. But anyways, nevertheless, I'm gonna wait a little bit. So I thought I'm gonna go record a video, and I thought I'll get myself a drink. The last time I had an espresso, last time I had any proper coffee, I think at all, was when I was in Italy. No, that's not true. The last time I had an espresso shot like this, because I just have mine completely plain, just as it is, as it comes. I don't like sugary drinks. And that's actually part of what I wanted to talk about today, is society's relationship with food is just so problematic. We've gotten to a place, I was thinking about this the other day, how it's crazy how people will get all up in arms about salt content, while at this very same time be slaves to sugar. The sugar pandemic is something that is so serious. And there's a lot of things people ask me about myself or comment about me, where I'm you don't realize that the way that I live my life and the way that I do things is partly why that's there. So for example, my skin, which I have good skin, it's not even in good shape right now because I've been eating trash as opposed to eating properly. Hence why I'm going out to get ingredients to make this soup. I'm going to make my soup, my back to life soup, which is a recipe that I've been working on for years now. And every time I make it, I try to think of what I can do differently the next time. And, because one day I want to be the person that's making everybody soup. I don't believe in medications. I believe in utilizing the incredible creations that God created for our bodies. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. We're in a modern society where we're so smart. We have all this access and all this money. We live in places I'm in the United Kingdom right now. And yet there should be no excuse for us not to be having a good diet. There should be no excuse for us to be so sick. But I realized it's because of the way that people think. It's because people this is what I'm saying as well about people taking themselves so seriously. But then look at you, people will be upset about a salt intake, right? Which I'm using that as an example because, me, as is the case of my life, the story of my life, I'm not a sugary person. I just never have been. I never have really been massively into sugar. And I've always been a salty, spicy, sour type of gal. I enjoy sweet things here and there. But even my fruit, I like it bitter. I like my fruit bitter. I like it when it's not sweet. I find a lot of fruit way too sweet for me. And so when people make these weird creations like candy floss grapes, I'm like, good Lord, did we need to go that far? But I've realized that, and obviously the other thing to think about, and I do believe that it's a blessing from the Lord, I have had a lot of family members who have passed away because of diabetes, right? In my grandparents' generation, I think all of my grandma's brothers, because she's an oldest like me, she was one of the last to go, and she had a great diet. Her favorite color was also red, ironically. I really honestly, anyway, we'll come back to it. I really honestly have so much respect for my grandparents, or my grandmothers in particular. But anyway, like I think she had like 3 brothers or something that all died of diabetes. Most of her sisters, I think have all passed away now because another one passed away. Again, diabetes. So I'm like, how is this the case when diabetes most of the time is actually reversible as long as you adjust your diet? But the problem is that people are too enslaved to their diets that we can't change our diets, and therefore we just die instead. Like it's oh, the squirrel. Hi, little guy or gal. Oh, I'm sorry they're killing all of your environments. I feel for you. Listen, I'm speaking up for you to the people on YouTube. I'm letting them know, okay? Justice is in the building and justice is on the way. That's what I mean. I feel for these animals because, like, we're just cutting all these trees down. And, like, where are their habitats? Where are they going to be able to also live while we're out here selfishly just cutting things down so that we can have things to do and we can have parks to go and sit at and we can do what we want to do and go and feed this stupid processed bread to these animals in the freaking ponds? Listen, let God provide. Let God provide, because what we're providing, it was like when I had my next door neighbor who was feeding, like, you know, the super cheap sausages, the ones that are like really, 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 really cheap, that are like predominantly not meat. I'm like, why are you feeding these to the foxes? No wonder they're just sitting there doing diddly squat with the freaking cats. We're not helping them. We're not helping them at all. And then we want to say, oh, we care about the animals. We care about someone like me who eats meat and whatever will be told that I should care if I cared about the animals. What about this? Even where I'm sitting right now used to be completely surrounded with trees. Completely surrounded. Right now in all corners I can see some form of whatever you call it. I don't know. Civilization. Poor little squirrel. I hope you're okay, buddy. Anyway. This is what I'm saying. It's so illogical. You could see me here sitting and say, oh, you're so big, you're too big to be sitting on the swing, right? You're too big, you're too grown to be sitting on the swing. You're too grown to be a slave like this to your flesh. You're too grown to keep feeding yourself with things that are clearly not feeding you well. So I'm quite stressed because, like I said, I used to have my favorite little butchers I used to go to in London, and I used to have my favorite little farmers market. I used to have my favorite little fishmongers, and they would get the stuff in fresh, and I would know where they were coming from and how the animals were being treated, and we would utilize everything, like nothing is being thrown away, you know what I mean? And it would just be such a good time that to like find myself in the position again where like I don't have those oh, there's another squirrel. Yeah, where I don't have those luxuries anymore, and I'm like here waiting outside near Sainsbury's, because Sainsbury's only opens at 9. And like, I mean, I remember this butcher's I used to go to, they used to open at 4. They were open 4 till 1. For me, that's the sweet spot. It's early, it's fresh, it's like, you know what I mean? But now, no, I'm waiting to go to the supermarket for food that's probably going to be what you will call it? Altered. Genetically modified. I was trying to find that. Genetically modified food. We don't have seeds in plants and things anymore, right? Why? So that you rely on them, and then you have to go to the supermarket because now you can't grow your own fruit and vegetables, and then you'll be crying out to the Lord to provide for your family. Meanwhile, he's like, I provided you with a land, I provided you with a garden, I provided you with wisdom as to how to grow your own fruits and vegetables. So why are you crying out to me about the prices in the supermarket when, you see what I'm saying about all this health stuff? And going back to the sugar is related to so many more issues, I feel, than salt is. In the right conditions, having a lot of salt in your diet is actually good because it's a mineral ion, this sodium chloride. The problem, again, is a lot of the salt we have in the supermarkets is really bad, isn't good for you. But having salt in your diet is highly important. I have quite a salty diet, very low in sugar. That's one of the reasons I have good skin. And whenever I start engaging with, like, I barely even eat carbohydrates as a whole. Not to say that that's how everybody should live. Everybody's body's different. And that's my point. Why do we act like there's this one size fits all for people's health when everybody's body is different? So for me, I can't do the sugar. I bloat. Okay, the sun is now directly behind me. That isn't great. Oh, I could actually... Could I? But I don't want to face that way. Okay, we'll just try and find an angle that where you guys can see me, and I'll stop swinging. But what was I going to say? What was I saying? I got so distracted. Yeah, we do all these things to our bodies, and like sugar has a lot more, I feel, in my personal humble opinion, has a lot more risks. First and foremost being obesity. Obesity in any way, shape, and form is against your health. That's not me being fat shaming. Literally, being overweight prevents you, and I feel like I'm grateful that I grew up with my mum who works in healthcare, and I would be horrified at the things that would happen to people when, due to being obese, how much it would like make whatever other thing that was happening to them worse. So like, as you guys know, I've had multiple injuries. I've sprained both my ankles at least once and my wrist, and I've broken my leg, dislocations, whatever. We've had a lot of things, and having the ability for me to hop on one leg easily into A&E is game changing. Some people, they never recover from their injuries properly because your body isn't in a good enough form that if something happens, you can say carry your own body weight in your arms, right? You can't push yourself like up the stairs, like because my mom's an occupational therapist. So like she would teach me about like ways that you can bring yourself up and down the stairs on one leg, like when I broke my leg and whatever. But if your body's not in good shape, the second that you get injured, now you just have to stay in a wheelchair. But that's actually not beneficial for your rehabilitation, because in order to be rehabilitated properly, you need to start to slowly work things back, work weight back into your legs. So if you now are heavily overweight, you can't just slowly but surely over time put more and more weight back into that leg, because it might just be too much for that leg to even heal. So now you're just stuck with a bad leg forever because you were overweight. That's what I'm saying. It's not that I'm trying to judge people, or even pregnancy. What a lot of women haven't realized, and I've noticed it on both sides, why are all these girls on all these pregnancy IVF journeys? I'll tell you why. Because being severely over or underweight isn't good for the female body. Our bodies literally, when they look, and that's why we carry a bit of extra weight in our stomachs. Oh, the squirrels, they're so cute. That's why we carry a bit of extra weight in our stomach. That's why it's hard to get that last bit of stomach weight off, because our bodies are preparing to have children. So when you exercise so much that you're trying to look this Instagram perfect, you might be, and there's one girl who I love, one of my favorite fitness influencers, and she's on this pregnancy journey, and she doesn't realize, I can see it in her body. Your body is not feeling like, your body is protecting your child by thinking this woman cannot get pregnant. This woman cannot get pregnant because this woman is too small there's not enough fat, because we do need to have some levels of fat, you ladies and gentlemen. Henceforth why I never really wanted to be a professional athlete, because I want to have a bit of, in my body, a bit of something. I want to be a bit of something. So that doesn't work. In the same way that it's very risky for you to be pregnant if you're severely overweight. What are we doing? Severely overweight, because now your body, you can barely carry yourself, you can barely walk around yourself, you can barely do what you need to do yourself. How are you now, why would your body now allow you to get pregnant, right, when you're the one who is when you can barely even hold yourself up? And then your body's supposed to now become an incubation station for a child. See what I'm saying? And so then people will say, oh, we don't know why I'm struggling to get pregnant. The amount of, I've been getting so sick over the last couple of years, hearing about the number of IVF journeys we've been trying for all these years. We've been trying this. I'm like, all these little things that we're doing to our bodies, this is why we're struggling with these things. These stupid contraceptives and all these things that we're putting in our bodies, even abortions. Do you know that the morning after pill, even, this is not what this video is about. Do you know the morning after pill, even, and all these, no one talks about the fact that all of these different things increase likelihood of issues with fertility, increase likelihood of developing PCOS, increase likelihood of developing endometriosis, increase, all of these things that we're doing to our bodies. This is what I'm saying. Like, and so for me to be experiencing, like, at a time in my life where I can't do things the way that I know is optimal for my body, I can feel it. I can feel why the world is the way that it is. I can feel why, all of this. I can feel why everybody's being diagnosed with something left, right, and center. I can feel it because our bodies are not in a state of optimization. Like even now, I've developed a new symptom, like in terms of, oh gosh, I've developed a new symptom in bloating due to like complex carbohydrates. I can't eat like bread from like that's from the supermarket. I will bloat. When I was in Italy, however, and this is what I'm saying again about the West and some of us in these countries like the UK and the US, when I was in Italy, I was enjoying pasta and bread to my heart's content, and my body was feeling fine. But this processed nonsense, right? That's the stuff that's making me bloat. And I realized that people are just used to being uncomfortable. Because see me, I'm not. I'm used to like when I was in my top form of when I haven't never reached my full top form, obviously. But when I was in a better form, I remember I wouldn't be feeling tired. I wouldn't be feeling groggy. I wouldn't like, I would always feel like whatever I wanted my body to do, like it could do it. That's why I would always set myself these obnoxious goals. Because I'd be like, whatever I tell my body it's going to do it because I'm optimizing the machine that is my body. You know, but as I've been lacking in optimization due to lots of different things, one of which just being overly stressed from work, because again, things like cortisol levels being spiked also affect things like your immune system. Again, as a woman, if you are stressed, your cortisol will go through to the child that is in your stomach and will also be there in your breast milk. This is why I'm like, God, how are you going to expect me to have a child when this world is stressing me the hell out? These are the things that people don't be thinking about. Oh, you got diabetes. Now you just have to they've told you just have to start taking medication. No, you don't. For a lot of people who are diabetic, all you need to do is commit yourself to a better diet. And it will go away. It's reversible. No one ever talks about that. It's insane. Like what I see on the internet and how quick we are. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong, you guys. I'm one of the first who will tell you on a day when you want to go and just have what you want to have, like eat what you want to eat, like every now and then, like live your life. You know what I'm saying? But this whole, like, even the fact that people seem to order in takeaway, like I'm saying, I ordered in food back to back for like 2 weeks, like every day. Right? Because this is when I was really stressing a couple weeks ago and realizing that this whole situation ain't coming into 2025 because it's not sustainable, right? And that's actually partly why I'm now so ill, is because I was just eating this, like, and I wasn't even eating that badly, honestly. I was having like, but it's the fact that it's processed. I don't know who it's processed by, like, and it's so funny. People will be on the internet. These are the things that I be thinking about, yeah. People will be on the internet and you'll see somebody cooking food for, I don't know, Thanksgiving or something, and you'll be critiquing if they wash their hands properly, or why did they use their hands, or why did they cook it like this? Why you need to wash your chicken? Do you think McDonald's is washing your chicken? Do you think McDonald's is washing your chicken? Do you think all these restaurants that you're going to and all these fast food places, do you think that they're doing half of this stuff? You're concerned about something that somebody's doing in the comfort of their home with the hands that the Lord gave us so that we could do things. Meanwhile, you're going and happy to spend your hard-earned money on all of this food that's even unrecognizable from what it used to be. And like I said, I'm not against enjoying yourself every now and then. I'm against this overconsumption and then having the audacity to somehow think you're the one, that you're the one who's got the right idea. And then wonder why your health is the way that it is. When I realized that this whole situation with my bloating, the reason why I won't go anywhere, I won't call myself any title, I guarantee you, if I was to change my situation, if my situation was to change and I could eat the way that I know that is best for my body, within a year, the symptom will go away. Within a year, the symptom will go away. But instead, you know what the world does? As soon as we have these issues in our bodies, what do we say? We slap all of these labels. Oh, we're intolerant. Everyone's intolerant of everything now. What was once an immune system where people would go, hunters and gatherers would go out, you know, I think about like Abraham and folks. Do you think that for everything that they were doing, that they were washing their fruits and vegetables with 4, 5, 6 different ingredients? Do you think that they were doing that? Do you think that their hands were perfectly washed while they were like, catching and killing the things that they were eating? And somehow we think we're the smart ones. Somehow we're the apex. Somehow we're the smartest generation. We're the most intelligent. It's a joke. It's a joke. But then we're allergic to everything. Our immune system can't handle anything. We're worried about a freaking disease. When this whole COVID thing started, do you know what I did? I'll tell you exactly what I did. I made soup. The second this whole COVID situation happened, and I actually even got it, I made soup. I ate plenty of different types of fruits, and I just back to back had like water, teas, soups, you name it. Fruits and vegetables. That's all I did. I didn't get on no medication. And sleep. That's all I did. And the only time I actually even caught COVID was when I moved out of London. When I was in London, right? The people that I was around, again, very much like forward thinking and like, were against the system and whatnot. Everybody was all seeing each other. Not a single person caught COVID. I knew I was only going to catch COVID after I left London because I was going to be in a situation where I wasn't going to be able to protect my immune system the same. I was like, if I'm going to catch it, I'm going to catch it now. And lo and behold, so I did. Despite the fact we were all wearing, like, none of us were doing none of this mask malarkey and all that when I was in London. And this 8 meters apart. We were just eating well. I remember I was working at this homeschooling thing. And a couple of the ladies there, like, they have like an allotment and stuff. So we would always eat really, really good quality, like fruits and vegetables and just produce in general. And so they would just make food. Like when I used to go and work, because I was working at this homeschooling thing there, they used to just make food for everyone. They'd make like a whole like family meal situation that we would have in the middle of the day, all the adults and all the kids all together, and just really good food. We didn't catch COVID. I come back to this here town. I follow these here rules of this stupid society. I'm wearing a mask and whatnot, only literally for a simple reason of a scripture in the Bible that says, about how, if your convictions are basically to be considerate, that just because you feel something about something, feel some way about something, doesn't mean you should keep enforcing that if it's going to hurt others. So I would wear a mask sometimes. Because why? Just because I care enough about people that for the sake of the anxiety of society, not because I felt like I needed to, not even because I felt they even made any sense. For the sake of the anxiety of the society that I am living in, I was like, okay, I'll do it. And lo and behold, I follow the rules. I stay 6 feet apart. Bam, I get COVID. Bam, I get COVID. And the irony of it all was that the people who I was like, who I had been around, when I told them, because I was the one who realized I got it first, and I only even said something because for their sake of their anxiety, right, about the situation. So I was like, let me tell you, because we all have to still go to some workplaces or do things online. It was so crazy how all of a sudden now you feel inconvenienced. You're looking at me like you wish I hadn't mentioned it because now this has ruined all your plans. But I thought you were the one living in anxiety. I thought you were the one who, do you see what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that I'd be thinking about. And I'd just be thinking, Lord, why am I here? Why am I here? And why is society stressing me out so much? And then it's this same adult population that will have the cheek to say that I need to grow up because I'm sitting on some damn swings. You just can't make this stuff up. So yeah, I'm sick of hearing all this stuff. I'm sick of seeing people struggling to cut out sugar. Like, you're such a slave. You want to judge somebody else like, I don't do this and I don't do that. That's what I mean. People always have this attitude of like, I don't really put salt in anything. I'm like, yeah, but you drink, you like the other day I always look at the caloric intake ever since I started working out. And I started working out when I was like 15. I always just like to know what the calories are like in things, because there's a lot of things that you'll be surprised about how many calories they're in. I'll give you an example. Sauces that you buy to like dip like your food in, or that's in a lot of like fast food and processed food. Sauces can have a lot. I think, isn't there like 100 and like it's like 170, 100 and something calories in a tablespoon of olive oil. Obviously, and again, even the olive oil that we have over here in the places like UK and whatnot, it's not like the olive oil when I was in Italy. It's refined. It's like 10% olive oil. Rest of it is something else. It's whatever. So you want to be talking about, oh, you put a lot of salt on your steak. And I'm like, yeah, and you have to have about 8,000 sugars in your coffee. That's why I was so curious about being in Starbucks and seeing it and getting my drink. Because it's strange for me that I would just enjoy just an espresso. Other people, it's like, I've got to add in 3, 4, 5 sugars, 4, 5 different pumps of this, 8 pumps of that. I remember one of the first times I went to Starbucks properly, like I was at a cheerleading competition, and in the middle of the day, in the middle of like comp, we decided to go to Starbucks. And I was like, okay, let's go. And I had one of these drinks. I was like, I feel like some of these drinks have the equivalent of the entire number of calories that I eat every day. And I'm not even kidding. But then you're worried about salt. And then you're wondering why your skin is breaking out. And I'm not saying that these are always the reason. There's lots of different things. One of my favorite journeys was of Sarah's Day. I watched her since she was a long time ago. And she healed her. She was told she was never going to have kids. She healed herself by her diet. I watched it happen. They've now just had their third child. They only got pregnant the first time because they thought that she couldn't get pregnant, which I really need the adult population to stop having sex when you think that you're not going to get pregnant, because I'm getting sick of hearing this story as well, by the way. Because it's not fair on the kids, especially if you didn't actually want them. But she healed her own stomach from changing the way that she ate. The doctors were saying, we are not ever going to have this. This is also why I don't like to go to the hospital, because when you now have these issues, they're just going to tell you, they're going to start casting spells upon you about what you can and can't do and what is and isn't possible. I'm like, the heck that's true. Listen, the God will make it happen. And these are the little things, like, Leah and Rachel in the Bible, the reason they were arguing and God gave, and Reuben found the mandrakes, because mandrakes were known to increase fertility. So that's why Rachel, who couldn't get pregnant, meanwhile Leah was getting pregnant left, right, and center, wanted to ask Leah for her mandrakes that her son found, the firstborn child of Jacob, the firstborn son of Jacob. Like, dude, your child found mandrakes. Can I please have them so I can get pregnant? Yeah, even in the Bible, it talks about different things, and there's just, we're in I don't know. Anyway, my fingers are starting to get cold, and probably I can go and grab the things I need to. But you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. Like, we're just in society, we really don't know what we think we know. We're really not as intelligent as we think we are. I could be judged for doing what considered childlike things as an adult. But I'm looking at the adult population and I'm like, where is your adulting gotten you? Where is your so-called seriousness getting you? You're literally living your life every day, killing yourself. And that's why the Bible says the wages of sin is death. If you eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall surely die. If you live a life in the way that, based on your own understanding, it's not that anything else is going to kill you other than yourself. It's not that anything else is going to kill you other than yourself, other than you walking around in your flawed wisdom, thinking you know what you're doing. And isn't it funny that it started with a fruit? It started with a food. We never recovered from what happened in the garden, you guys. We never recovered. It started with a fruit. It started with us eating something that we thought looked good, that we thought would make us wise, that we thought whatever. It started with that. And look where we are now. Life's a game, you guys. I gotta go make myself some soup. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. I'll see you in my next one.